Good morning. Hello and welcome to summer school. It is week 5. We are here for the prep sessions before the Hero's Journey Masterclass, which will be starting in October. We are here running summer school from Mexico, from Bacalar, Quintana Roo in southern Mexico. And my name is Sasha Wallace. I am your green goddess. I am your MC for these sessions. And I'm very pleased that you're able to join us, whether you're seeing this with me right now, whether you've just popped in after I was live, or even if you're just catching up before going into the hero's journey. Thank you very much for your commitment, for your presence, for your awareness and your openness to all of these ideas. We are here for week 5. Week 5 is a really important week. It's a week where a lot of what I've already shown you in the previous weeks will hopefully now have started to create sort of like the 4 corners, if you like, the 4 foundation stones upon which something else can be laid, the next layer. Now, the next layer is what I'm going to show you. It's sort of like the initial layer. It's kind of the underbelly, the undercurrent, the foundation stone of everything. Being that it's the tree of life, it is the Kabbalah. It is one of the earliest, most arcane, most mysticism systems in all of creation. But my reason for introducing and doing the other tablets beforehand was as much for me as it was for this journey, to understand how different things fit together and how they feed in, a little bit like understanding each of the individual rivers and how they flow and where they come from and where the mouth and the source of the river is, so that you can then understand how they flow into the ocean. Trying to understand how the ocean, starting with the ocean and how that ocean flows out and into all the different tributaries and estuaries and rivers and lakes around the planet, feels like a very difficult way in which to grasp the whole, because you're trying to hold the whole ocean and then see every single way that the drops of those oceans impact the rest of the world. So we're sort of trying to start the other way around, looking from the river, starting at the mouth of the river, and then you just follow the meandering river all the way along its course, and eventually it will return to the sea. So that's my hope, that these ideas have started to build a little bit of a picture and a story and a sense of their flow. We've looked at the zodiacs, we've looked at the planets, we've looked at the chakras, we've looked at the symbols that command their presence, that symbolize their element, their power, their utility, their magic in our world, as above, so below. We've looked at the elements, we've looked at the bloodlines, we've looked at some of where these initial rivers once began intergalactically from a galaxy far, far away. And now this is about bringing it back to a systemic approach, but also being able to introduce you now to how the tree of life and the hero's journey fit so beautifully together through tarot. And this, I feel, all genius for me. It has been a genius journey. What I mean by that is that I never realized that the tree of life would be number 5 in this journey. I never realized that so much would rest or pivot on this point of change. And yet here it is. It's magical to me. It's kind of, how has this genius come through me, and what other geniuses have been supporting me and helping me understand this journey so that I can bring it forward to you. So that was a little bit of an introduction. Before I show you, this is the Tree of Life. Now, I really do hope that the connection is strong this morning. We have had some connection issues. I am obviously streaming live over the internet. That's always going to have its challenges. I have toyed with the idea of just doing these videos as uploads, recording them and then just uploading them because of the internet connection. And because I want as little disruption and interference in the videos as possible. However, I'm still doing them live, and I just feel drawn to do it this way. I'm very much in the flow. I'm in the river of flow as we do these. And there's an authenticity about me going live. There's nothing that can be hidden. I'm not going back and editing anything afterwards or dropping out anything where Mercury has messed up my words or Saturn's hijacked my throat chakra. I've even got a little bit of an extra husky voice this morning. I hope none of you will mind. You might be able to hear it. I've gone through just to explain, I'll be very open and transparent and raw with you. I'm on a journey. I'm on a constant awakening journey. Even though my awakening started many years ago, it is a process, and it's ascension as much as awakening. We're always moving upwards. And so for me, I will continue to go through ascension symptoms and different 3D sensory challenges, I suppose you could say, because I'm actually going through yet another upgrade. Having a very, very interesting, powerful upgrade at the moment. And definitely they get more complex as you go through the process. But it's also that every single time you go through an upgrade, you go through an awakening, you go through these ascension symptoms, they are building up your strength so that you can meet the next one head on. You couldn't be doing what I'm doing now or facing the kinds of ascension road I'm on if you were just starting out. I've very much got my stripes from all the other things that I've been doing. So anyway, I'm in one of those phases at the moment. I know there's a lot of other readers out there that are also experiencing various sorts of internal issues or external issues, but they're very much body focused, like they're very much sort of, body located. And my little ear infection that I get periodically has just sort of reared its head during this time. It's an ear infection that I get because I'm a scuba diver and a swimmer, and we are at the mercy of ear infections because when you dive and you swim a lot and you move water and air through your ear canal, very, very small area that holds a little bit of air. Obviously, that's your ear canal and your throat. And when that's put under enormous pressure when you go diving, this part of your body and face takes a lot of takes a lot of pressure, like literally, like tons and tons of pressure on a small space. So it's something that it's a bit of a casualty, bit of collateral that happens. But yeah, during these ascension moments, things like this can just flare up, especially when my senses are so part of my my spiritual gifts. All my senses have already resulted and presented themselves as clair gifts as well. So I have all of my 3D 5 senses activated at the clair higher level as well. So I'm doing fine though. Nothing's going to stop me from bringing these beautiful words and ideas and stories out to you. This is my life's work. This is something that is now so part of me that I couldn't really do anything else but share it with you. And I think it's important that you sort of understand my story too, and understand that this is a difficult journey for me as well. This hasn't been by no means easy, by no means skipping through the park every day. Unfortunately, as much as I certainly do take those moments as often as I can, and make sure those moments happen as often as I can. This has actually been a journey beset by sadness and tragedy and loss and trauma and disappointment and karma and lessons. A lot of lessons to be learned about the people around me, the people I grew up with, the people I counted on, the people I thought I could count on, the people I thought that had my back actually had daggers in my back instead. Those are pretty terrifying 180 realizations to go through, when the people that you thought you would be safest with are the ones you had to be most cautious of. Yeah, a lot of that happens on this journey, and a lot of it is kind of meant to make you turn around and turn back and run for the hills. And believe me, those fears and those feelings do occur to me, and I'm human. At the end of the day, I'm still a human being having a short but bright experience here on planet Earth. And so I do go through these same things, but I've also found the courage of the lion pride to keep going and to keep opening that next door down the dark corridor, never knowing what's going to be behind that door, but bloody sure that I don't want to keep walking back through the doors that I've come through. I came through those doors for a bloody reason, and some of those I've shut fast behind me. I've even locked them and thrown away the key in some instances. Not for everybody, but it's getting very clear now, in the clear light of day, who is for me and who is not for me, and who I should trust and who I shouldn't, and who I should leave the door open for or not, as the case may be. And as I say, difficult journey for everybody, not least for the Pied Piper, who wants, desires, feels compelled to stand at the front and play everybody a tune on their own drum, as I have decided to make my life's purpose. So, strange little introduction, but there we go. I've been mulling over a lot of different things as I was preparing for this particular session. None of it what I just said to you, but that's okay, because that's just what Spirit decides to move through me in the moment, and making sure you understand that this really is a real journey, a real person going through all this without any support from anybody. without any recognition, without any acknowledgement. In fact, there are people right now trying to prove or convince others that none of this work is my own, and actually that they are responsible for this work. And I have been fighting against people that would plagiarize and rip off my own work as quick as they would knock my grandmother down in the street. And believe me, there are people that could probably be accused of that right now. Both, all of that and the eggs on top, okay? So, the tree of life is where it all comes together. Our tree of life. This is, for those that don't know, a system that originates out of Jewish mysticism, from the language of Hebrew, the Hebrew alphabet, just like the English alphabet or the Greek alphabet or the hieroglyphic Egyptian alphabet. It is a system of letters, and that system of letters has a profound meaning and a profound story behind each individual letter that forms this beautiful map of yellow roads, yellow pathways, the yellow brick roads, as they very much are. And each pathway is a letter on the Hebrew alphabet. And each of these circles here is called a sephirah or a sephiroth. And there are 10 of them. And they also represent a planet. So we'll go through the numbers first. Then I'm going to take you through the elements, and then we're going to look at the paths of wisdom, or the yellow brick roads. Because we've looked at the planets now, we've looked at the chakras. This is now another layering of that same system of now looking at how these represent the sephirah, and from the tree of life, or the Kabbalah, the different sephirah meanings and houses of magic that they encapsulate. So we'll start at the top, just looking at number one. Number one is Keter, represents Pluto. Number one, it represents the crown and the bridge to spirit. Then we have number two, Hokmah, represents wisdom and Neptune. Number three is Bina, represents understanding and Saturn. Number four is Hesed, represents the unconditional, Jupiter. Number five represents Gevurah and boundaries and Mars. Number six is Tiferet, represents compassion and the sun. Number seven is Netzach, represents eternity and Venus. And then Hod is Mercury and empathy, number 8, forever and ever and ever. Number 9, Yesod, represents the astral realm and the moon. And number 10 is Malkut, represents existence and the earth. One thing I will say, we can see this as the outer planets, the furthest planets from Earth, or the furthest planets from the sun as well. From Earth, you can actually see the Moon, Mercury, and Venus in the clearest distance from Earth. So the Sun, the Moon, Venus, and Mercury, sort of in our visual sense, our visual source here. We can also see Saturn and Jupiter in the night sky at the moment. And so there's a beautiful visual clarity about the Tree of Life that indicates that actually from our visible point on Earth, these are what we can see in the night sky. Uranus is represented as Dart or Di-Art, knowledge. And he carries the symbol of Phi as well. There is also this beautiful line, excuse me, this beautiful line running down straight through the middle, this sense of powerful wisdom raining down from the universe, coming down through Gimal, which I'll show you in a minute, like the camel's path through the Sahara Desert. That is the walk of the priestess through her intuitive sandscape. Drops down through what is often called the void space on the Tree of Life. It is actually not void. It is full of mystery and magic. It is just perhaps misunderstood and so believed to be empty, or believed just like the air to be there to be nothing there. But actually there's a lot more going on than meets the eye, literally. And it could be seen that this energy, this force, this power that falls down from the universe, bringing with it the energy of Bina and Hokmah, the masculine, the feminine, primal energy, combining at this point, creating new knowledge. That's what happens when the masculine and the feminine are combined. They create something new. Something new is born. New knowledge, new wisdom, new understanding can be gained. And that falls down once again into the sun. And it is from the sun that everything then radiates out. As you can see, the sun is the one that connects every sephira on the Tree of Life. Just like the sun radiates energy to every planet in the solar system, the sun is here to disseminate and distribute that wisdom from above and from all of the other planets out